This is a meeting of the Town of Norton Zoning Board of Appeals. It is 7:07. Sorry for the late start. We're having technical issues, which is pretty common these days. I'm Tom Noel, Chair of the Zoning Board. With me is Jim Tenore, Lucas Wozniak, Nick Ferguson, and our building inspector, Ed Bailey.
Yep.
And Brian Carmichael, our clerk. We have a few items on the agenda tonight. The first item is continued from the last meeting. That's 34 Woodland Road. And just to recap very briefly, this was an application that had been before us for several meetings over the last few months. The applicant, right before our July meeting, emailed that they were not going to pursue the application. Mr. Carmichael asked, are you intending to withdraw it without prejudice? They responded yes to that. So I take that and I will entertain a motion or deem a motion on the table to allow the applicant to withdraw that application without prejudice.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Second.
And this is what Mr. Wozniak and Mr. Tenore had sat on for a few sessions, so we need Mr. Wozniak back. We'll have an announcement about Lucas in just a minute.
I'm not going to accept it.
Yeah, I'm not going to
Nope.
accept the resignation either, but we'll talk about remedies later. Now, we don't have to withdraw this without prejudice. It's just something this board has done commonly. And since Brian actually asked the applicant, is that your intention? The applicant responded yes. I think it only fitting that we allow that. I think the bylaw section that bars repetitive applications still applies, so that they'd be limited to 2 years. But frankly, I don't know what would control. If they filed it again right away, I don't know what would control there. Having said that, is there any other discussion on this matter? Then vote is in order. Mr. Tenore, your motion to allow the withdrawal of 34 Woodland without prejudice.
Yes.
How do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Wozniak?
Yes.
Mr. Noel votes yes, and notes that that may be Mr. Wozniak's final vote on the Zoning Board of Appeals, because earlier today when I signed on, got the bad news that Mr. Wozniak is thinking of leaving the Zoning Board. Though, Jim, you're indicating we can vote on this and vote it down?
Yes.
I didn't see that in the rules, but,
I'm making my own rules
okay, all right,
by the power vested in me, the state of Massachusetts,
all right, Commonwealth.
Commonwealth.
Yeah, all right, I'll go along with your vote, so Lucas, you're stuck. But that was the last one we needed your vote for tonight, so you may want to not get involved in the others, and I will note that Mr. Ferguson was sworn in and is now our third regular member. There's nothing regular about us,
I
but
vote he stays the entire night.
that Lucas stays
Yep.
as the alternate member? Okay.
I'll hang out.
I second the motion, and we vote in favor, 2-1. I think, well, Nick can vote with us.
I vote
Yeah.
in favor.
All right, so 3-1. And actually.
Or you can go to
Lucas-
Wendell's, have our orders ready, and I'll meet you there. Either one. Pick. You pick.
Lucas doesn't get to vote because he was the alternate, so
That's it.
it's 3-0. Lucas has to stay. Or yes, pay at Wendell's later.
Yeah.
In any event, let's move on to the second item on the agenda. Mr. Ferguson, I will ask you to vote on this one. And that is the public hearing. Property address is 0 Elm Street. We have just a few materials on this, and I actually have a question off the bat. But it is presented, I think, by Level Design Group.
Correct.
And you are, for the record,
Good evening, Daniel Campbell, Level Design Group.
Mr. Campbell, nice to see you again.
See you.
This is it's noted as an application for a variance and a finding. And we have 2 pages of a plan set in the record. The first one doesn't show, just shows the lot number. Second one, which is marked, okay. Sheet 2 of 2 dated July 16, 2025. shows what's intended on the site. It's a duplex with garages on either side of the duplex. This is a lot that is now presently a parking lot. I'm going to let Mr. Campbell explain what the applicant is looking for. Level Design represents the applicant tonight. But off the bat, my question is kind of procedural. Why isn't this before the planning board on a special permit? I'll ask Mr. Campbell, but I have that. I'm not sure it should be before us. But Mr. Campbell, yeah, Brian, you know something?
I can answer that question.
Okay.
It is undersized for a duplex.
It is undersized for a duplex and
they are
a couple
going to-
other.
Right. And they're going to planning board next week.
Okay, thank you. So this is in line for a special permit, Mr.
Correct.
Or you've applied for a special permit?
We've applied for a special permit for the modification of a pre-existing non-conforming. We're in front of you tonight for the further modification for a duplex. So the special permit finding would be for the use because it's non-conforming as sized today. But we're looking for a duplex, which then throws it to the zoning board in addition to that.
Not sure that's right, but I think we can consider it for variance relief because of a couple of points. The frontage is 200 and what?
272.4.
Okay. I guess you don't need a variance for that because the bylaw for R60 says 150 feet, but then there's an additional zoning bylaw that says for duplexes, it has to be 200 feet, which applicant satisfies. So what variance relief is necessary for us to vote on? That's, again, my question.
So a single family requires 60,000 square feet, but a duplex requires 80.
Right.
So when the plan was originally presented, both the building inspector's office as well as Paul in planning said that we needed to come for the variance specifically for the duplex use, not necessarily for the use.
For the square footage.
For the square footage, the 20,000
The
square
lot
feet.
area.
Correct.
And what is the lot area at
It
issue?
is 40,000 square feet.
Okay. So it's undersized in an R60 zone, even if this was going to be a house. Duplex in the use table is listed as special permit in an R60, although the new bylaws proposed, I think, toss that over to us. But 175.6.86 says, for purposes of conventional development plans showing multifamily or duplex, the required frontage shall be 200 feet. That's what I was referring to. And in the uses table, at some point it says it has to be double that required in the R60, so it's supposed to be 120,000 square feet, isn't that?
It's 80. It specifically denotes 80 as far as the zoning.
It does?
Yeah, so.
If we go multifamily,
Building's 80,000.
yeah. Multifamily has a different requirement versus
Okay.
duplex.
I
So
didn't print
there
out
are
that.
3 stages.
Okay. So it's in order for variance relief as to the size of the lot, where 80,000 feet is required.
Correct.
This is 40,000 feet. A significant diminishment of what the bylaw provides. But go ahead, Mr. Campbell, tell us what this is. This is a lot
Absolutely.
with a parking lot on it.
Currently, the lot is almost entirely paved. It's the parking lot across from the old mill building on Elm Street. It has been that parking lot as far back as we could do research back into the 40s and 50s with the available maps that we didn't have to request from others. So in the range of 80 years, it's been the current use as a parking lot or not necessarily a paved parking lot, but a parking lot nonetheless. What we intend to do is we intend to take the parking lot up in its entirety, replace it with a duplex structure, 2 essentially single-family houses connected in the middle, two two-car garages, two septic systems, just happened to be a duplex on the lot. What we did, and what I handed out earlier, or is currently in front of Mr. Noel, is I did an evaluation of the local area as well as the zoning district as a whole. The first handout, the 8.5 by 11s, give you,
There are multiple copies, correct?
there are multiple copies, correct. What it does is the first page is a 500-foot radius of the properties around us. Second page is 1,000. Third page is just under half a mile around the property, so you can see what the uses are. What we have on the aerial photos, from a zoning standpoint, the property, again, almost fully paved. Across the street is the mill. It's zoned as commercial. For whatever reason, there's an industrial parcel that surrounds two single-family houses across the street. The majority of the rest is R60, with the exception of the VC, which is the downtown, what we currently sit in. I reviewed inside of that district in our surrounding area. Again, this is us, as to the multifamily as well as duplex lots, what sizes they were and how they were in relation to our property. So this is the property in question. Just 4 doors down, we have a 12-unit property.
Yep.
4 doors down from that, we have a duplex. We have a duplex adjacent, and we have another duplex on the corner. The 12-unit property is approximately the same size as the property in question. The duplex lot at the end, in this location, is about 25,000 square feet. Most recently renovated. The duplex lot, or the two-family lot at the corner, renovated somewhat recently, it appears. We have a two-family 4 doors down. The other direction, that is 2 entirely separate structures, not a duplex, but 2 families. And
How did that
in
get
the same zoning district, ignoring the BC, which is along Town Hall and along East Main, we have 2-family across the street. We have a townhouse complex of 32 units adjacent to Wheaton, a 2-family. And then just off the page at the top, there's a 44-unit townhouse complex. So within 1,000 feet of the site, there's multiple properties that have not only a duplex, but multifamilies, some significant multifamilies, as I said, 12 units, or the property that's across the street, though the developed portion is a lot further away than that. The developed portion of 44 units is probably still 2,000 feet from our property. The property itself, however, touches.
Is the current property associated with the mill, the old mill across the street?
So it is owned by the same person, but
Okay.
it is not in the same ownership. So it was purchased technically at a later date. It was purchased as part of a foreclosure, is my understanding. It has always been held separately and is currently held separately from the mill itself.
When you say separate, it's the same owner, though.
So it is actually a separate LLC.
It is,
Yeah.
okay, okay. So this to me means that we would also, in fact, need a finding because it's a non-conforming use proposed to be a residential use. Duplexes are allowed in an R60, although by special permit.
Right.
But applicant is saying they're going there. They're in the process of doing that
Correct.
anyway. And I'm not trying to cut you off. Are there other questions from the members?
Do we have precedence of voting for such a variance for a duplex in an R60 with it being, what'd you say, 40,000 square feet is the size of the lot?
40,511, but yeah,
Well,
40,000.
currently with 80,000 being the requirement.
Applicant is, I don't know that we have ever taken that vote in this board. Applicant is showing us that there are others there. I assume they are pre-existing or that they were properly permitted. We don't know any of that. It's up to the planning board to say whether, because a special permit is going to have to be issued for a duplex. So I can't tell you, Nick, that this board has ever taken a vote for a duplex on a 40,000 square foot parcel. I don't know. But applicant has done his homework to show us that there are other multifamilies in the same area of town. It's the best I can answer.
Okay.
It's not a complete answer or a perfect answer, but that's the best I can do. I don't remember one before the board when I've been on the board.
And you guys are voting on lot coverage, really.
Right,
Versus-
lot
You're not voting on duplex, you're voting on allowing
It-
2 units on a lot coverage situation.
And I think any decision would be
Tied.
subject
Yeah.
to approval by the planning board
Oh, I would
of a
agree.
duplex development. And if the planning board deems, not appropriate, that our decision would be null and void. That's how we'd have to do it.
We've done that a few times.
We've done that before. It's never clear, Nick, whether the planning board gets first crack or we do. We kick that around constantly.
All the time.
Yeah, the unfortunate part is we have other places in town, South Main Street, where there's now a 4-unit in the multifamily that would have required 120,000 square feet. We have a variance for that from this board, the 3-unit turning into a 4-unit. The 3-unit would have required 120, the 4-unit would require 120, and it is a 32,000 square foot lot. So in that zone, there has been precedent within the last 5 years from this board.
Is that up by is that,
Solmer's Farm.
yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
remembering. North of the highway, just
Correct.
over the highway.
These properties, we tried to date them purely from assessor's records, and we have anywhere from the late 1800s on the front house and the 1960s, 70s, and 80s on the rear house. The duplex that's 8 doors down from us was renovated within the last 5 years. So certainly there's movement in the area, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to rehabilitate a property that's really in the middle of residential that is currently paved.
And I note, it appears that setback requirements would all be met.
Correct.
I'm not sure I can see all of them drawn in here, but I can see the table, what is being asked for, and we can go by the table.
I certainly could point them out on the picture.
Is
on
it here?
The side. It is.
let me just zoom in
For
on-
instance, this is the corner in the rear.
Oh, you've got a,
This is the corner on the side.
Where are the distances to the actual numbers?
The actual numbers are up here
in the table,
in the
okay.
table.
The numbers aren't indicated,
We typically require that on
yeah, on the plan, that's our preference. It could be, we could go just by the table.
So we do have them, not the setbacks themselves, but the setback to the structure is physically on the plan. I was just pointing out the setback lines.
So that number that's from the structure has, so the number that's on that corner for the structure, just 'cause I
Correct.
can't see it, 63.8?
Yep, to the
Correct.
rear.
Is that, can I look at the table? Scroll down, is that,
Yep,
Yep.
That's
So
noted on
we
the-
made a minor change, but it's
Well,
63.8, 63.7.
because you have a deck on the back of that?
We have a patio on the back specifically.
Oh, it's a patio.
But it
Oh.
goes from the patio.
It goes from the deck, was my understanding.
That was a permanent structure.
Permanent structure.
that is, yeah,
Okay.
So if you put a step in, it goes from the step.
yep. So I think we're going to ask that this be presented with the setbacks shown from the patio to the rear.
Sure.
You can, submit that and we can, well, let's talk about that.
Yeah,
And also that setbacks be shown on each side.
in the
I
front.
s- And the front.
They are dimensioned in each location.
I see 74.5 on the left.
Can we see the front?
I don't see. yeah.
63.7 is your front dimension.
I'm sorry, can you point that out with your
Sure,
pointer?
absolutely. Brian's circling it currently.
Okay.
The left-hand side is 74.5.
All right, I see that.
What we did
Yeah.
was we dimensioned the smallest dimension. It's greater than that on the right-hand side.
I think we're going to ask that it be shown, just write each one in,
Absolutely.
all four directions, closest and the non-closest corners.
Hopefully, we can do that as a condition if the board chooses to move it forward.
Yeah.
We are well inside of all the dimensions
Yeah.
regardless of that, but.
I'm not doubting
happy to-
that, I'm just, we usually, because we
Yeah.
attach a decision to a plan and we We want the numbers on the plan.
I am happy to change it before
Yeah.
the plan is recorded.
Other questions or issues that we should discuss?
I would just say that it's unique that he's meeting all the setbacks. You know, the lot coverage situation usually impedes into setbacks, and they can't, you know, they're trying to put an oversized building on an undersized lot, but in this situation, all the setbacks are being met, so.
I
it
agree.
Seems reasonable from my opinion.
I agree, and also, you know, the noted policy change, it's not really a change, an evolution. We're trying to encourage housing development, I mean, nationwide, not only here in the utopia of Nortonia, but nationwide, and this would be two single-family residences
Correct.
in the form of a duplex, which is a good thing for the town. Are there other questions or issues? And next, if we're going to require another submission, do we kick this over to the September meeting? They have to go to the planning board anyway, so that we can get the new plan in, or do we go by the dimensions in the table and wait for the new plan to be delivered? I will ask if there's anybody here to speak in favor of or in opposition to this. We normally require the applicant to submit the plan that we're voting on. I don't think it's going to prejudice you if we take this up at the September meeting for a vote.
I don't mind. Normally, because he has the setback, we know he's within the setbacks already, right? Based on
Per the
what we
table
have
and
per
per
the table.
what's already
I wouldn't
found.
mind. I don't want that to hold him up or them up. You know, we can just have it resubmit. But I don't feel the need. If it was close, I'd say yes, resubmit. We'll kick it to the next.
So we voted in the past where we said, as long as the lot coverage doesn't change,
Right.
you know, the motion was made that, hey, the lot coverage as this is being approved at this
footprint.
number, and because of the patio, that the rear setback will not be, you know, exceed the setback distance.
Right.
Like, basically say it won't be more than 50 feet, no matter what.
We can note that the table numbers will change slightly for the patio or at whatever structure you have there, and that all others are within boundaries.
Right.
If
Yeah.
that's what the board wishes to do.
I would be okay with that. I
My
mean,
only point
I
is,
don't know
let's
if-
ask first, is there any, thank you, Mr. Campbell.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere. Is there anybody else here or remotely attending online to speak in favor of or in opposition to this application? Brian, do you note anybody online?
No, this is all 5 people online.
And Mr. Kimball, go right ahead. Man who needs no introduction yet. I
Well,
will-
Bob Kimball, 51 Pine Street.
Yeah, thank you.
The, couple of things for clarification, and probably aim more toward Ed than any of you. The property, 47 Elm LLC, has purchased the land, your parking lot, paid $1,500 for it. They owe the town about $42,000 in back taxes for the property. So that has to be cleared up prior to any building on the property. My other concern is, and I'm not opposed to this, by the way, just so you know, my other concern is the status of the property on the other side is, as far as I know, has not been purchased.
That is the actual structure,
The
of
old
the
mill.
contaminated.
Right, that hasn't been built.
That is why I asked that question, if it's tied to that at all.
Yeah, it's under agreement, but I don't believe there's been any paperwork or final paperwork done on it. The other concern I have is the contamination. 21E should be done on a property. No, can't be.
Residential property.
So what we have here, folks, is a contaminated site across the street. We have a history, a few years ago, there was some research done, and there was some plumes of
Yeah.
material coming beyond the mill, and it's going into some of the neighbors' properties. So I'd be concerned about that. I'm just bringing that up for conversation. Something we should look into, because what we don't need is a house built there and then we suddenly find out that it's got other issues. The Title V, that's going to be interesting to see how that's built on that property, because it's kind of, I don't know what kind of perk test has been done on it, but it's going to be some issues with it. Referencing property on West Main in the Village Commercial District is probably not the same as I believe this is just a residential lot. So we can refer to other properties around town, but when you're talking about West Main Street, we shouldn't talk about that. That's a village commercial district. So that's a different area altogether. So I believe there's a lot of homework to do by the planning board. You know, they should do more of it. But I would encourage, through you, Mr. Chair, Ed, that maybe a 21E isn't allowed, but we need to have some kind of assurances that we don't have an issue there before we have an issue in the future. And it would be in the future property owner's best interest to make sure that that land is not contaminated.
Thank you, Mr. Kimball. All very good points. I know the town is aware of the tax issue. In fact, I think there's a settlement in place
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a payment plan, Bob.
where
They have to. They
Upon
can't bill until they
approval-
pay it anyway.
upon approval, they
Yeah.
have to pay the
Yeah,
back
which is
taxes.
good.
And if it's not approved, they have to pay by November 1st, I believe.
Okay.
I'm not part of that, but that's what's been
All
communicated
right,
by
good.
Mr. Carmichael. It's basically your understanding, correct?
Yeah, everything has to be paid by November 1st or by special permits. But by the time they get special permits, that everything should be paid before final.
Okay. So I'm viewing our role as more limited. The seepage of pollution, and I'm not saying there is pollution that has seeped, I don't know that, but that's an excellent point. Can I ask our building inspector, Mr. Bailey?
Yep.
Are there ever inspections required in the residential context?
Typically, no. It's kind of a freewheel for folks.
Interesting.
Realistically, to me, you guys should be focused more on what are the hardships that allow a 40,000 square foot variance.
Right.
That's, you know, whether a duplex gets built there or a home gets built there or remains a parking lot. You know, if somebody puts a commercial building there, a 21E may well be done, but as it stays a duplex and a single family, it's kind of outside of our realm to ask.
That's an interesting point.
Whether it could be a provision of the planning board, that's a question for above my head, but
Well, I know we're allowed to impose conditions, but as I understand it, it's conditions related to zoning.
correct.
I certainly don't want this to be approved, go on the market, and then have somebody move in with a couple kids and say, what? I didn't know there was a site across the street that might have seeped here.
Right.
I don't know what we do about that. Do you, Mr. Kimball, have
I
any
don't know.
experience with that? Like
No.
a disclaimer almost
No idea.
on a property?
Applicant is
Thank you.
shaking his head. He looks like he may.
Thank
have a-
you, Mr. Kimball. Mr. Campbell, yeah.
So a few things. Yes, there's an agreement on taxes. As far as the question on the VC zone, specifically, all I was pointing out was the properties along are in the VC zone, but the ones that I specifically labeled are in the R60. That was the intention of the handouts. As far as contamination goes, there are 2 monitoring wells on the site, one in this location, one in this location. Testing has been done at both those monitoring wells. The house, the duplex structure, was specifically elevated just about with the basement floor at the existing ground level, above any groundwater, as well as above the majority of the existing soils. Though there isn't anything currently in the area, this property, there was the concern of the Board of Health as well as our office whether or not something like that would occur specifically, so we elevated the structure. The one condition of the Board of Health is currently the plan has a well on the back of the structure. We've talked to the Board of Health and talked to the Water Department to make sure that we can connect to the water line in the street.
So that's the plan.
Correct.
Who monitors the monitoring wells? Is that the state?
The reports go to the Board of Health. The reports go to the state. Technically, they're also filed with the town clerk. They're required to be monitored through, I want to say this was a RAM plan, which is an overall contamination cleanup plan for an immediate response action. This particular property is purely being monitored to see if it moved that direction. groundwater in the area tends towards the lower part of the site or to the lower abutting site. So if you have a contaminated building in this location, it's primarily moving this direction and this direction towards the water, because this parking lot on the other side of the street, for instance, is around 9 feet lower than the mill building itself. So the contamination's moving in that direction. The first floor of the mill building behind Elm Street specifically, because it comes from Elm and it drops down a story, the contamination came from the backside of the building. So it started a story below where we're talking about to begin with. And it's moving towards the south, really, at least from what they've submitted to the state thus far. But the answer is there are monitoring wells on site and it was tested already.
Are the monitoring wells visible?
Yes,
What do they look like above ground? I mean,
it looks like a water gate. It just says monitoring well on it.
is it marked monitoring well state DEM or anything?
No, it's marked monitoring well. It's got, it's a pipe in the ground with a bentonite seal around it with screening at a certain elevation, and it's got a metal grate on top of it.
Okay.
They're about 4 inches, give or take.
So there is some notice to people who are going to consider the property. I assume the monitoring wells will be there. I'm not sure what we have within our purview to slap a label on anything saying,
No.
you
The
know.
one thing Mr. Campbell did bring up is the hardship. We haven't really talked about that.
Sure.
So,
So, in this particular case, lot shape, topography, or soils, we have a filled site that's been modified extremely over time. The soils themselves and the elevation of the structure warrant the necessity of building something greater than a single family to change it from the parking lot that it is into something else. So in this case, we would be working through soils, not lot shape, which is fairly square. The topography itself, the only limitation on the topography is currently it takes the majority of Elm Street from a drainage standpoint down onto that property, onto our neighbor's property. So from a topography standpoint, we've planned in swales and things of that nature for it, but it's soils in the most part.
Is that sufficient?
Yep.
That is addressed in the soil type is addressed in the level design submission.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's kind of just set down, it's left hanging, I mean.
Yeah.
But Mr. Campbell is referring to those site conditions that are cited there.
So as far as the septic system, which was the last thing Mr. Kimball brought up, we did do soil testing on the site. There's approximately 5 feet of fill on top of basically pure beach sand. It's beautiful sandy material underneath, but there's bottles and car parts and other things inside of the fill above it. It definitely was a gravel parking lot for years because we have almost 2 feet of gravel above the fill.
Other questions, issues from the members?
I mean, you guys can also just continue this until the
Well, that's what I was.
planning board approves it. You don't have to vote on it necessarily.
Right?
The planning board did issue a memo today looking for this vote before they would recommend approval. Paul issued that maybe 3 hours ago.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, how,
It's literally supposed to go the other way around.
it's supposed to go the other way around.
Yeah, I mean, we're contingent on them, right? That's
Yeah.
going to be in our decision, but
That makes no sense.
let me ask if there's anybody else to speak in favor of or in opposition to. Yes. Could you identify yourself for the record?
Roger Marsan, 62 Power Street. Just a couple of questions that I had is, it sounds like a chicken and egg thing you folks are dealing with the planning board and yourselves.
Happens all the time.
Yeah. We're the chicken.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes.
I think that you should wait until the planning board acts on this before you act on it. There's a couple of issues that you may want to act on, and that is the actual size of the lot. There's a reason that it's zoned for that space. And the fact that there are other buildings and duplexes that are somewhat in the area, I believe, just because we may have not considered that in the past doesn't mean we shouldn't consider the size of the lot now. And there's a reason that we zoned it for that size, for that area. And to say that, well, there's other things in the area that are that size, I think you're just not considering the reasoning behind having it zoned for that purpose to begin with. And the other issue that isn't necessarily our issue is we're constantly adding to our housing in the town, and I think we need to consider how that affects everything else that goes on in the town. So the fact that we're wanting to put a duplex in an area that isn't even zoned, the lot size isn't even zoned for a single family home, I think is something you need to consider.
Thank you. Any reaction to what Mr. Marsan said? I would point out that realizing that not every other duplex should be considered in relation to this application for the right to put another duplex in. Our decision, though, is based on how this affects the other parcels in the neighborhood. And part of our decision is going to be whether, for the finding, whether this use would be substantially more detrimental to others in the area. So I think the other constructions that Mr. Campbell has pointed out are relevant. How they got built and why and under what permitting, I don't know and I can't speak to. Lucas?
So just to give you guys, I don't think I remember dealing with this, but so this property is in the Water Resource Protection District.
Yeah.
So through special permit, and this is probably what the planning board's gonna have to deal with, there is a lot of rules about basically disturbing a lot and construction and how much debris you move and everything. So I would advise to wait for planning board to vote on it, in my opinion. Just because once you read this whole section, it's a whole different array of issues that I think this property is going to run into, especially with monitoring wells.
So you're suggesting that there are issues that wouldn't be before us, but that the planning board has squarely before it.
Yeah.
That's a more complicated reason than I had earlier, just to get the right plan in place, with the right dimensions drawn on the plan. But I think that's a fair point. And I think we can push back on the planning board a little bit and say, we weren't ready tonight to take a vote on this, whether we wait for planning to take a vote or issue a special permit. I don't know that we should do that or base our vote on that, but I'm comfortable continuing this to the September meeting. What is the date of the September meeting, Brian? Sorry to ask you on the spot.
September 10th.
Yeah, the 10th, I think.
10th?
Yep.
Yep.
That's early. I would entertain a motion to continue this until September 10th
The
at
only
7 o'clock,
the-
asking for the revised plan set that we've asked for.
Yeah, but the only thing I think we have to address, if there is a letter from the planning board asking us to vote, we have to somewhat address it, although I haven't seen it. It's not in my email. I don't know if you've
It's
seen
on,
it.
it's on the portal, unfortunately.
Portal.
Planning board portal?
The online portal, application portal, it was a note dropped
You know what
by.
I'm saying?
Open Gov. Yeah.
So I don't want, I mean,
I
I'm,
don't think we have to do what the planning board has asked.
no, and I agree with that, but what I think we should say is, we should have let the planning board know, like, hey, just because you asked us to vote, we don't feel comfortable. I was toying with the idea before we get into this whole discussion with postponing it to see what happens with the special permit. I still think, I know this is still an open discussion, we're not closed, but I still think we should do that, regardless of what they say in that motion, but I think we need to tell them that, although they asked us to do that, we don't feel comfortable. Or at least I don't feel comfortable. I don't know how you guys all vote, but.
I can do that in a communication.
Right.
Explaining that we're considering, we've asked for a new plan sheet.
Plan sheet and
we're
that there
also
are some
curious
issues.
as to how the planning board is going to treat this and whether or not they do it at a single meeting or other meetings.
Right.
We've continued the matter to September 10.
Yeah,
I can certainly do that.
yeah. I mean, I would feel comfortable with that.
Is there a motion
But do you want
to continue? Mr. Campbell, do you have anything to say in response to the continuance?
No, we've gone back and forth on this very issue
Yeah.
with this board and the planning board multiple times, so I understand.
do you have to close the public? No.
No, not yet.
Just leave it open because
It's
we're
still
continuing
open.
it. I'll
Yeah,
make,
so this would
yeah.
be continued to the September 10 meeting. The public is still invited to comment. We still are taking input, so
Yep.
we can't
Yep.
close the public hearing
I will-
portion.
What I would advise is that when they do come back, that they address the water resource protection requirements, because it is in our zoning bylaw, and it talks about new construction, requirements of a recharge system. There's quite a bit in here.
For the zoning board?
It's under zoning through special permit, so
So it's planning board.
It goes through the planning board.
so,
Yeah.
So you should see that before you.
We can ask Mr. Campbell to tell us where they are with that,
Yeah,
with the
exactly.
planning board.
Yeah, and I'm happy to submit the same narrative that we submitted to the planning board
Okay.
on all those items.
Why don't you advise the applicant to do that and also to give us the plan that we asked for with the actual setback distances enumerated for each of the boundaries
We will have
Appreciate
every
that.
setback possible
from the patio, from the back of the.
from everything.
Yeah. With that, motion's been made and I think seconded. Mr. Ferguson, you seconded the motion to continue?
Yes.
to continue to the next meeting.
Then we can consider September 10th where we are. Maybe we're comfortable at that point passing on the variance and the finding for, change to a non-conforming use, or maybe not. But I suggest we talk about that September 10th after we get the plan and some more input. Okay?
Sounds good?
Mr. Tenori, how do you vote on the motion to continue?
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson?
Yes.
And Mr. Noel votes yes as well. Thank you
Thank
for
you
your
very much.
time,
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
for understanding the process that we are suggesting.
Absolutely.
Are there multiples of that as well?
Yeah.
If you want these.
I mean, I know the property.
Right.
You want this even though you're leaving? Oh, wait. I'll take one.
Just enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Next,
I did that for 2 years. Remember when the other guy joined?
Yeah, but you actually have to show up.
No, I didn't show up for 2 years.
I know you didn't. Trust me. Well aware of that.
You guys did a great job.
Yeah.
next is the application for 49 Island Road. The applicant is Amy Williams. Are you Ms. Williams? Okay. We have both. The applicant is seeking a side yard reduction to 5.7 feet, front yard setback reduction to 12.5 feet for a proposed additional detached garage on the property, and a plan sheet was submitted, which is being projected right now. who is going to speak and explain what's going on, and
This being my first town meeting, would you like me at the podium?
yes, please, yep. And we'll ask your name and your relation to the owner.
I am the owner. My name is Brian Chase. Amy
Brian.
is my girlfriend. And this is our proposal. Sure you're familiar with all the cottages around the lake and in town.
Do you live at that address?
I live at that address.
Okay.
I've been there since '92. You know, our plan is to make some more living space, and the original proposal that I was going to present was done up by my contractor, which was going to be a 20 by 20 structure behind the garage, and then trying to make the garage bigger, but that crossed every single possible line that would have been a no. And this would have been the only way to, you know, to make this work. The garage is as much storage as it is to replace my original garage, where you often, all guys know you're out there puttering, fixing something, doing whatever. So it's going to serve as that as well as storage above it. And then changing the existing garage into living space, being a master bedroom and a master bath.
Ah,
That's the proposal.
okay.
I
I'll
understand.
open it up to questions from the board. Go ahead.
Well, my understanding is that, you know, that, I don't know if it's that buffer zone or the proposed part is that it's a little too close to the street. But it's actually, I don't know, I look at it and it's actually, you can't really see like the fence and everything. Nothing's changing. In other words, the building's not coming closer to the street.
Right,
The entryway to the building, let's put it that way. None of that is changing.
I see that. In other words, this is 12.5
Right.
from the road.
Right.
You're at 11.7, it
Yeah,
looks
on
like.
the other part, it kind of shapes the house, the structure into like a U.
Is there a reason why you're putting the proposed addition on the back instead of that front area where it's kind of the U?
Well, so the existing garage there, that would allow a hallway into the new living space. And I'm adding 6 more feet to give me that extra space to have not only the hallway, but also the bathroom. The original bathroom is right there. So all the plumbing, everything, there wouldn't be a lot of changes there other than hookup and length. Whereas I start moving that around because I'm actually taking out the existing bathroom, which is like a phone booth in that house.
Yeah, sure.
So that made the most sense to me.
Is the proposed addition part of what you're asking for?
Yes, actually, we were supposed to discuss both of those. I think that probably just got lost in translation, but
Okay, well, that's,
basically it's for the garage, crossing that line on the zoning. as
but
far
does
as-
that affect zoning issues like setback? On the side, what zone is this?
Do you have a copy? Yeah, you do.
It should say right on the plan.
Yeah, it
up
should
above.
say.
If you go back to the drawing, in the top right corner usually.
Oh, wait, he just went. I don't have it. I think it's down there. It's got to be.
Usually,
Is that 60?
we actually require it usually on the drawing.
What was that?
Yeah, it doesn't have the zone
Got to
here.
be a 60.
That's,
Are
that's,
you
si-
on-
that's 60.
Can we find out
Oh, yeah,
what
it's
zone
R-
this
it's
is in?
R6. Yeah, it's R60.
It is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you detaching the garage, not attaching
That was
it?
my
Part of
next
it-
question.
Part of, again, is space, because of that wall, because my home is so small, to lose a section of wall to enter that didn't make any sense to me. And then I worry about rot, other things, affecting the home. It just made more sense to me to keep it, separate.
Separate by 3 feet, it looks like.
Yeah, roughly 3 feet. I was trying not to cringe too much on the neighbor beside me.
Is there
I
going to be
only-
a living space above the garage?
No storage.
Storage.
What is
It makes more sense with that.
to the right of you?
To the right of me would be
I'm
my
looking at-
neighbor's property.
And what is there for development, for structure?
A home, he has a couple of sheds, I believe, there, and there's a fence between the two of us, as well as some pretty large trees on my side, keeping that private.
Does this trigger the 25% increase in living space on your end as well?
That's what I was just wondering as we're talking about converting the garage over.
Because usually that triggers on these smaller lots. They usually you guys, it comes to us because
That
of
would
that.
just be a finding by
Yeah.
by you guys while it's here, if that is the case.
Well, he's
That's-
not constructing a new footprint on the garage.
No, but
so-
it says converting habitable space.
Converting habitable space plus a proposed
If we
addition
take
on
the
back.
garage, is that 25% of the home with the addition of the 6x19?
It certainly looks like it would be more than 25%.
Yeah.
But more basic question, can a homeowner build on a wetland buffer, over a wetland
That is
buffer?
my problem I'm having right now.
I don't know the answer to that, and I don't know if that's our purview really, but
No, and I mean, that ends up with the Conservation Commission.
have you applied to conservate? You
Yes,
have.
I actually have a meeting here the 25th. I've been
So again,
in touch with
But
John.
it's two boards that can work independently. If,
Yeah.
let's say this
Yeah.
board allows everything here and Conservation does not, then a permit doesn't get granted.
Right.
But somebody's got to take the lead here to.
Planning board, we're affected by planning board.
Yeah.
But
Conservation.
even with the planning board, if they allowed the special permit on the previous one and you don't allow the variance, it dies there.
Well, the dimensions are on the plan sheet.
Somebody allowed it.
Is there a lot coverage calculation on there? Because that's another item.
No, I don't see that.
Yeah. Yeah, because you have a lot coverage issue, obviously with the garage.
Yeah,
So
you
that you need that table on here as well.
So lot coverage,
With the R60, he may not be a lot coverage issue because he's got all that extra space on the outside. It may be the increase in habitable space.
well, both. I mean,
Both.
they're both dimensional.
They need it should be on the plan, yes, but.
Yeah, that's what Lucas, I think, is getting at.
Yeah.
We could request a new plan drawing. Trowbridge knows how to do that. I'm surprised Trowbridge didn't
Yeah, they
actually
usually
put it
pretty
on
good.
here, right? Anticipating, but lot coverage percentage and also how to describe the other, or the increase in habitable floor space. It is a change to a non-conforming, so.
Yeah, so if it's over the 25%, it would need a finding with you as well. If
But
it's not-
but what we're saying is on a new plan drawing, percentages of habitable floor space,
Yep,
present and intended.
present and future, yes.
Would that take care of any questions, further questions on this that we would have, except for the conservation issue, of course, which isn't our purview?
Is not purview.
Gentlemen, can I further add to that?
Yes, of course.
It has been discussed about the difference between having it attached and having it detached. I would prefer to have it detached, but if it was a go, no-go thing, I could understand it. So I'll just say that I'm open to it.
Well, that's an issue. I mean, you presented us with a plan.
Correct.
So that's what we're voting on. We could make that an issue if we want to. What is the rule? If it's detached, it can be within 10 feet. If it's an accessory?
Yeah, so if it's an accessory structure, it can be within the 10 feet.
So is this an accessory structure?
Currently, this is an accessory, so it would require a variance because you're not 10 feet off the property line, you're
But-
only 5.
Accessory can be within 10 feet.
Right, but he's only 5 feet. No, you can't, you have to be outside of 10 feet, excuse me.
For an accessory structure.
For an accessory
You
structure.
can impinge on the setback requirement,
Right,
but
the
it still
normal
has to be 10 feet.
The normal setback here would
Got
be
it.
30.
Thank you.
The accessory would be 10.
Yep.
If it was attached, it would no longer be a variance, it would be a finding because he's already violated that side setback.
Well, it would be a variance on the setback requirement.
No, not any longer, because technically they would have already violated the setback with the 24/7 to the house. So we're not,
Oh,
it wouldn't be violating
Well-
it wouldn't be violating a setback, it would just be making one worse, but
yeah.
you've already broken
We've
it.
taken those situations in the past and we've said that we need to vote on variance as well as a finding.
Finding.
If it encroaches further,
Yeah.
especially here, it's significant, we would be voting on a variance. It just would be the difference from the normal setback requirement rather than the 10-foot accessory building requirement.
But up in Brookline, the state decided that if you already violate the setback, the floor area ratio, etc., whatever the dimensional squabble is, they've said that once you violated it, it can no longer be a variance, or should no longer be a variance. It should only be.
What is that? Is that a court case?
That was a court case, yeah. I don't recall it right off the bat, but it was based on a floor area reference where
Huh.
it was like 10% or something like that. They were already under it or over it, and the court said, yeah, you can't do it as a variance because they've already broken the rule, so it's too late to try to uphold the rule. So you can do it as a finding, but not as a variance any further.
I'm not familiar with that case. I'd have to ask counsel what that is.
Yeah,
You say it was Brookline?
It was Brookline. I can find it and email it over to you.
Really?
Yeah, I have it in one of my case law books because I was like, that's a big deal depending on how these are set up.
Yep. I mean, that would alleviate us having to vote or double votes on these, do
Yeah.
variance
so
as well as a
now
finding.
this being that it's a separate structure,
Yeah.
even though that is already violated, all bets are off. Being a separate structure, it has to go back to the variance process.
I'd like to read that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks.
that's interesting.
But initially, it sounds like we need to continue this to September 10th as well, since we're asking for a new plan with other data on the plan.
So in our zoning bylaws, there is a wetland protection.
For us,
Yeah. In the Wetlands Protection District, I think this would, but I don't know if that applies. I gotta look. But they talk about existing home buildings and uses, including additions to and alteration of existing buildings you can't do. I don't know.
what is that section?
175, 5.3.
It sounds like you just found some homework for us.
Yeah, I sure did.
Do you have architectural drawings for the addition yet?
No, I do not at this point.
In wetland protection, it said no dumping, filling, earth transfer, or location shall be permitted, which we knew that. Building or structure to be erected, constructed, moved, except for one or more of the following purposes in accordance with a special permit by the planning board. But I don't know if that's in the wetlands.
I don't know
I
that
don't
we
think
have
it is.
jurisdiction
Yeah, but
over that section of the bylaw.
It's
But this is
literally in
what's
it.
never clear to me.
Right.
Where our jurisdiction, I mean, my understanding is our jurisdiction is for dimensional matters, not for wetland matters.
Right.
Because that goes to conservation anyway. And you just referenced the planning board. I may be wrong, but that's my understanding.
And now technically, he's not in the wetlands.
He isn't, because I'm
He's
looking
in
at it
the
right
buffer
now.
zone.
Well, no, because there is a. I'm looking right now.
Wetland Protection District is also a water resource, which would be a special permit from the planning board. So if
Is he? That's what I'm trying to figure out if he's in it.
The proposed addition on the back of the garage?
Well, that's in the buffer. It's not in the wetland.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, right. Well,
That's where our bylaw is a little lacking in clarity.
So all the land at or below the elevation of 105 feet draining to the Norton Reservoir to be a part of it. And I think that, I mean, that,
This is part of the wetland consideration,
yeah.
but we don't know if that's our
I
jurisdiction.
mean, it's in our zoning bylaws.
With a civil section that like say.
Right, yeah, so I don't know if
Planning
it
board.
kicks, yeah. I think
Or, you
it
know,
kicks it,
whatever it is.
I think it kind of kicks it to
And
the planning
applicant
board.
is before conservation or is in process communicating with conservation at this point anyway.
We have filed a notice of intent. That's what's been done so far.
You said you had a meeting though
The
tomorrow?
25th,
25th.
yes, next Monday, I believe.
I mean, so they'll tell us if they can't do it.
Yeah. I mean, we can certainly condition the variance.
Well, you're gonna continue this anyways for the.
Right.
Yes, right.
Yeah, so by then we
So
should
by
know,
then you'll
exactly.
know.
All right,
Yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a good point, but they'll answer that for you.
yeah.
All
I just
right.
worry about the wetland, the buffer. Because I don't think we've ever allowed anybody
Well,
to build in the buffer zone.
no, we've always stayed away from that though,
Right.
because it's always been the conservation
Yeah.
issue that they issue those parameters for what the construction can and can't do. I thought within the buffer zone, there was no disturbance. That's what I remember from the,
No, within the 100-foot buffer zone, you can disturb. It's just the notice of intent.
oh,
50-foot, it gets a little stricter, and then usually within the 50 or within the 25-foot, it's almost a no touch.
Yeah, no touch. It's a
I
no
see.
touch, right?
Yeah.
It's within the 50.
this is
Yeah,
within
the
the
50,
50.
this is
the 50
within
gets
the 50.
dicey. The 100's just a few more provisions.
It depends on
essentially.
where. Like, I live next to the Wading River. My entire property is within 200 feet. I'm not supposed to be doing anything. I can't put a paver down, technically.
Oh, yeah?
But 25 feet is no construction, and then I have my certain parameters.
Yeah.
Got it.
So.
Sorry.
You're gonna
Yeah, I
have
mean, also, you guys, for consideration, we've also discussed, the size of the building and lot coverage, and is this necessary, because it's a 36-foot deep structure, is that oversized garage, there's other factors here. That's why I asked if there was architectural drawings, because part of the vote is, the neighborhood and how it affects.
Let me ask right now if there is anybody present to speak in favor of or in opposition to this application. Yes, Mr. Marsan.
Roger Marsan, 62 Power Street. I'm not in favor or opposed. Just a point of information, just to know that this piece of property is at the very end of a dead-end street, and the parcel to the right of where they are, the home is as far away from this parcel as you can get. So just something to consider, that it's probably not impeding or intruding on the neighbor's parcel much at all.
Thank you. And I wondered if the neighbor was present. Brian, do you see anybody online?
No one's online.
Okay.
Spoken with.
We have not closed, and we're not going to close the public hearing anyway. Go ahead, sir.
I just wanted to let you guys know that I have spoken to the two neighbors that would have been directly affected. One across from me who would have affected his view, and Lee, who was the one that we just spoke of on the right side. And, both of them were like, we're fine with it. So, of
They're
course,
not-
all the notices went out to the abutters.
Right.
I don't believe any of them have said anything at all, so.
They have not to us, and that's why I was
good.
just asking if anybody was
Okay.
online.
Yeah,
But thank you for the information.
okay.
I think I'd suggest a motion to continue, but ask the applicant to get in touch with Trowbridge right away.
Sure.
Tell them that we need to see on the plan sheet the lot coverage, present and intended, and the lot coverage percentage, present and intended. They'll know what this is. And the change to the habitable floor area. Is that the terminology?
Yes. The proposed and existing
Existing and
habitable floor
proposed.
space.
Trowbridge should understand that.
Could I ask you just to write that stuff down?
Well, you can write it
No,
down.
sure, I don't have a pen, I'm sorry, that's why.
There you go.
So it's 175-1.6 talks about the 25% floor area.
a dimensional table on the plan sheet
Okay.
showing the existing and intended lot coverage percentage and the existing and intended, well, the change to the habitable floor space, present and future. It's actually the change that we're interested in. Trowbridge should know those things, and a dimensional table on the plan sheet. I think that's the lingo that you should communicate to Trowbridge.
Okay.
Trowbridge usually does put a dimensional table, I think, on the plan sheet, so I think they'll know exactly what we're asking. And we're going to take a vote in a moment to continue to September 10th.
Okay.
We'll ask you at that night what is happening in conservation, what that process is, and we'll
Sure.
take the matter up again on September 10th. I would ask for a motion to continue to say 7:05, since the other one was 7 o'clock.
I'll make that motion.
To continue this till 7:05, September 10th?
Yes, sir.
Is there a second?
I second.
Okay. Mr. Tenori, how do you vote on the motion?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson, yes?
Yes.
And Mr. Noel votes yes as well. September 10th,
Okay.
7:05, after the last one.
Okay.
And we'll hear it out then, and you can let us know what's developing with conservation.
Yep.
But Trowbridge should be able to get that together pretty quickly and get it to zoning board file.
All right. Sounds good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And you, Pat.
And the
thank
public
you.
hearing is still open, so
Gentlemen.
we'll ask the same questions next meeting. Thank you. And, yeah, I'll look at the bylaw section too, but
I don't know if it's just kicking it to them. I gotta look at it.
thank you for your help.
Good night.
Okay, we have a couple other issues tonight. No applications. Those were the applications. We have the zoning bylaw update. And we have some minutes that were distributed. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at those. We can get to that in a minute. Zoning bylaw update. Brian, I looked at the sections that I had trouble with last time, and I think I'll withdraw my concern.
Okay.
I think they conflict a bit, but I don't think it's fatal to anything. Where are we in the process? Where is Paul in the process? And what needs to be done? We had gone through the new bylaws last time and the portions that affected us and made some changes. There's a new document on the portal with those changes incorporated. What is next in the process?
So the board is going to go to town meetings, so they're going to do public hearings. The 28th is when they have to approve the language by which they have set forth for the draft.
28th is a week from tomorrow.
Right.
But what is our participation now? Paul had asked, would we warrant this or certify that these are our changes or something like that? Do you have clarification as to what Paul is looking for?
I think more your involvement with the planning board, or at least a member, to go to town meeting and go to the public hearings to speak on behalf of
Okay.
the zoning board.
So nothing in writing or decision, but just to, and I can tell Paul by email that, we'll certainly do that to help facilitate the process. I mean, I'll commit to that personally, and, Nick and or Jim or Lucas, because we're not letting him off.
No, it's not going anywhere. Sorry.
But we can
Is this a
communicate
whole
that
new
to Paul.
bylaw being released, or is this just an update to our existing bylaw?
Edited, existing, edited to
Edited
existing.
existing, and they changed some, you know what I mean, the formatting and.
I think we should read it again, because look how you addressed the wetland thing tonight, or the water district overlay. I feel like we should look at these sections and the first paragraph should say, for reference only, deemed by conservation department, but considerations. And now you say, okay. Well. Anyways, but I feel like there's these things that we always run into. We're like, well, what do we do with this? Or how do we, this is the opportunity to clean those up right now.
I'm not shooting that down, but this is part of what we discussed in July with Paul, doing some edits. If you have some suggested changes, I'd suggest you get them to Paul and that we talk about them. I'm not.
Or application requirements, such as, an architectural rendering and the table on there.
That's
and
actually a procedural thing where we can make rules as to what we require for an application. And we started doing that a few years ago. It has to be approved. But that's not, we don't make a bylaw on that.
Based on that, yeah.
We have a rule sheet and a list that we present publicly and say, we need these things. And I think we should close that process off by pursuing that. So in your further time on the zoning board, we'll ask for your help.
I'll be at Wendell's.
But town council had explained that we have to publish that. These are our rules, and then we can follow them. But it's not more complicated than that. And I will effort that, because I think that's important. For example, saying what we want on the plan sheet.
Yeah.
It's pretty, we want distances to each side yard, to each setback. We want the
Period.
distances.
For everything.
Drawn
Just-
in.
That's it.
And we can say dimensional table as well.
Yeah.
On whatever aspects of the proposed development impact zoning requirements. That covers it, just by putting it that way, I think. Because it seems to be getting more slippery as we go, with people just not following those, and we send people out, and it's happening more now than it did a few years ago, with those basic things not on the plan sheet. So good suggestion. So I can communicate to Paul further and tell him that I will take part, and ask all 3 other members to join me if they are willing on
When's it going to be?
public hearings. And have they set the dates?
We do have dates set up. I can work with Paul tomorrow to.
I'll ask him to lay it out.
Yeah, just tell us the dates. I'll let you know if I can go.
The zoning board is going to assist. Tell us what's next and the dates, specific dates. And, and we'll make an effort, and I personally will make an effort to do that, to facilitate. Now, minutes.
Yep.
Brian sent out the last 6 sets of minutes from 2024.
Yep.
Are we ready to vote to approve those minutes?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if
Mr. Ferguson wasn't present at any of the meetings.
Yeah.
I would ask Lucas if he is set to vote on those 6 minutes, and if so, if they are approved, I will just reformat with the signature blocks as I had done the last time. And
I'll only say Brian's always done a great job, and now that everything's recorded, it just makes it that much easier to approve minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Where when we, 8 years ago, it was not recorded and so on.
It was recorded, but it's not part of the
Exactly.
audio record.
Oh, it was you with your little tape recorder.
I have
Now
some
we have-
cassette tapes if you want.
I still have that thing.
I got 2 of them.
Don't worry, I remember you just
But
placing
I have
it
the
on.
zoning boards. It's at my house somewhere. Uh-oh, I'm going to be arrested now by the Norton police.
Yeah, no, you're not.
I'm not stealing it. I've had it for like 10 years,
Your tape recorder and your fax machine.
My fax machine, I don't have that. It's not
I
the
have
town's. You have
Keep it.
At my house.
It'll be worth something.
I know.
$5.
So what are the dates specifically?
So
Can
we
you
got-
reel those off, and then I'd entertain a
Yep.
motion to approve as submitted, simply to be formatted by the chair and passed in for Brian's signature.
Minutes on 7/23/24. Minutes of 8/21/24. Minutes of 9/18/24. Minutes on 10/16/24. 11/20/24. 12/11/24.
So that's actually 7 sets of minutes.
That's 6. And then we have one random in here that goes right till July 23rd of 25,
Which says bylaw update.
which has bylaw update. So I don't know if that,
Was that supposed to
I
be
don't think we have to
24?
approve that. I think that's just a,
What does it look like when you're open it, Jim?
It's a virus.
that's a
didn't
good, that's a
notice
good
that.
question. I noticed it, but I think that, my computer's not working right. I think that's the,
We'll just do the 24s right now.
yeah, we'll just do the 24th because I
Yeah.
think it's something,
What wasn't intended.
yeah. So,
So the 6, 20,
So we'll go-
24. Yeah.
yeah.
That you just recited.
Yep.
Is there a motion to approve those minutes as accurate renditions of our meetings?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Nope.
I will format the signature pages and get them to Brian. If Mr. Tenori, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Wozniak,
Yes.
this is his final vote. Mr. Noel votes yes as well, not his final. Okay, Jim, all right.
Yeah, you can still close the meeting. But we do have 2 more things.
Oh, shit.
2?
This is a bill
Bills.
for Nick's nameplate.
Do we really want Nick Ferguson to have a nameplate like ours? We have to pay for it? All right. It's $31.57.
God.
Yeah, his is going to look better than ours. It's
Can't get out
WB
of
Mason bill. Is there a motion to approve this?
You already have it? Apparently.
Yep,
So why do we have to pay for it?
Oh, we already have it,
yeah.
so we don't have to pay for it? No, that's not how it's done. I guess we actually have to pay WB Mason for it.
Yes, we do paper bills, so sometimes they're after the fact. So we have to pay it.
That means our credit must be good. Is there a motion to approve this expenditure for Nick Ferguson, who now owes us big
I'll
time?
make that motion.
Lucas?
I'm not voting. He votes on his own nameplate.
Do I? I
Second? Will you second the motion?
I second.
Mr. Tenori and Mr. Ferguson, how do you vote? Yes,
Yes.
I know you vote yes.
I don't
Okay.
want to spend town money.
That's like signing on for 4 years, right? You just go, exactly. Now you gotta earn it.
Yeah, Lucas, what are we going to do with yours?
Yeah, he's staying right here.
I'll be back.
So do I just sign this?
Appreciation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's your parting gift. Wait, there's something else. Do I sign everything?
Just
The same
I
thing?
have 1 copy for them, 1 copy for ours.
This I don't need to. Okay. We're done with bills and warrants.
Yep.
We have a warrant for the arrest of Mr. Wozniak, but nope, we actually have this. I'll fill it
Oh,
out.
here we go. It's official.
20?
I'll put it next to my high school diploma.
Yes. Don't make fun of it.
In your
This-
office?
Yeah.
Fun of it. Brian very nicely thought of this.
My GED.
Did you spell his name?
This
Spelled
is worth
his-
far more than that diploma.
I'm going to sign it, so it's worth something. I don't know what it's worth, but certificate of appreciation. This certificate is presented to Lucas Wozniak, is that how you pronounce it? For his commitment and service to the town of Norton Zoning Board since 2016.
Wow. You know what? I should do one more year and make it 10.
Well, you are, so why are we giving you this?
on, the
Thank
same
you,
time.
Brian, for
Yeah, I guess so. Wow. Thank you
Lucas.
so much.
frame it.
I'm going to bring this to Wendell's with me.
Yep. Don't get grease on it.
I mean, listen, now that you have another member, I didn't know that. I can stay as an alternate. I'm just not going to show up for a while unless you guys need me here.
Really?
Remember that other member when we were still doing meetings in the other...
Brian or David?
What was his name? He moved to Plainville or...
Spangler?
Spangler.
Yeah, Spangler. I mean, he was on for 15, 16 months and I didn't show up. I was just an alternate.
Yeah, but what if one of us suddenly says we can't make it?
Like me.
You'll make an effort to fill in? I mean, I
I just
appreciate that.
It's not a big deal. It's just
You just
know,
can't plan for
You
it.
need to call my wife and let her know that I stayed on.
Yep, no, he can go. He's out. See you later.
Yeah, who wants to call her?
I saw Janice on the email chain.
I have a hard time calling my wife to tell her I'm not going to be there.
Does she want to join us?
No, I mean, listen, if you guys
If you
need
can
me,
stay on as an alternate.
I'll stay on as an alternate.
Then notify.
I'm still taking
uh,
this with me.
Notify.
Brownie points.
Lucas, you got to do an email then to Brian Clark, right?
I'll retract my resignation.
No, I
can
think
always
no, I
zoom
think
in
you
with
actually
it.
need to.
You have to resign as a full-time member.
Yeah,
come back
and
as
then
an
come back
alternate.
as
He's not a
I think
I was
full-time.
never full time.
He's
I've been an
a
alternate
alternate.
this whole time. You guys were looking for another third member this whole time.
Yep, that's true.
The selectmen never put me into the member role.
But you should then.
That was an oversight.
Email, email tomorrow though to notify that because you're an alternate, you can.
I'm just saying, if something
you believe
happens and
can
you
stay
guys
on.
need me in the middle of January and
Yeah.
I can zoom in and help you guys,
Yep.
what's the big deal?
That would be
The
appreciated.
problem is the school sports and the this and that, it's just out of control.
That would be great.
Tell
Then
me.
you could reach your 10-year mark and get your full pension, which is,
0.
believe me, I know. That would
We
be
put
great.
in the zoning bylaw, like, members don't have to pay real estate taxes or something.
Second.
That'd be good.
Wait a minute.
You gotta take out the town members.
There was something a few years ago, if you were older than 65, you could work off your property taxes by volunteering in the town or something. I don't know whatever happened to that.
They still have it.
Yeah,
They
you have
do?
Do they really? What?
There's folks sitting at the front desk every day that kind of greet people coming
Yeah.
and going.
yeah, you have to just contact the assessors.
Really?
Yeah.
And they get credit
Yeah.
for each hour they put in or something?
I think there's a cap to it. I don't know the whole system, but
That's cool.
yeah.
Well, that's good.
You
It's a
make
good thing
15
to
grand
have.
doing it?
What happens when you become 50? What happens when you become 50? I'm there. Let's do it.
I don't have any sympathy for anybody who's only 50,
For another
so.
15 years.
All right.
Thanks. Lucas, do a follow-up email saying
I'll do a
that.
follow-up email. Like I said, I'll just,
That would be great.
God forbid something happens.
Well, that means we
Whatever.
get that certificate back. We should shred that so nobody.
I usually need you in
already
like
taken it.
September, October, and November.
True.
I'll be available 2026.
Our next meeting is September 10. Let's go over what we have. October what?
Oh,
We had done
hold
this.
on. I got it ready.
Yes.
Hold on.
We have.
All right. So you got September 10th.
Yep.
You got October 15th. You got November 19th
Thanks.
and December 10th.
Great. Yes?
Yep.
Great. Thanks. Anything else to come before this esteemed board tonight?
Nope. Make a motion to close public, the zoning board meeting. Public appeals.
Second.
Second, third.
Yes.
Nick, isn't this fun so far?
yes.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
I'm not keeping anything.
Jesus.
That November
Hey, Brian,
12th.
I'll give you a gift.
What was the November date, guys?
November
19th.
is,
Yeah, the 19th.
yeah, the 19th.
Yeah.
All right, we closed?
Yeah.
Where
We
you
are
guys
closed.
going?
Thank you. Thank you, Norton.